the Buddha, after enlightenment, what did he do? He got enlightened. I'm not going to go through all the process. Many of you probably heard the story, some of you didn't. But one day the Buddha got enlightened. And then he thought, I can't explain that to anyone. What happened in my mind, in my being, there are no words. So he was just hanging out there thinking, not going to say anything. Well, he probably did that in a much deeper and poetic way. How can I tell people that I cannot? But then, cutting a long and beautiful story short, he decided he was going to teach what we call the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. He would try to help people seeing reality as it is. And when you see reality as it really is, you're not going to be, banging against it, wanting it to be different. You just understand that's how things are. And you get happier, wiser, kinder, more empathic, more aware. So he said, okay, I'll give it a go, I'll try. The problem is, our mind is very dualistic. If there is this, there is also not this. If it's a day, there is night. It'll be interesting next week, isn't it? There'll be a solar eclipse. Whoa, things mix up. Anyway, so there will be, we think in terms of one concept and not that concept. Me and you, me and others. So our mind is built like that. So it's very hard to understand reality, because reality is different. Reality is complex, much more multifaceted. If we dwell more on our right side of the brain, for those of you who are neuroscientists, you will understand what I'm talking about. If not, read a book called The Master and Its Emissary. The author explains it well, much better than what I'm saying here. So if you're on the right side of the brain, you have more of an idea of complexity. If you're more on the left side of the brain, more active, you need words. You need things to be literal, very kind of quickly understandable. So it's hard to explain reality as it is. It's hard to teach the Dharma. I gave a talk here about 2 years ago, and I did say, imagine everyone just sees things in black and white. And then the Buddha comes and sees things in color. And he's trying to explain to us what colors are. But we only see things in black and white. So how would you explain colors to someone who's completely colorblind, only see black and white? It's another dimension, isn't it, of reality. So you can't explain the color red to someone who doesn't see red. But what you can do is tell them what you did with your eyes in order to start seeing colors. Because that's what the Buddha did. He practiced, and then boom, something happened in his mind. And then he could see things as they are. So what he was teaching us is, what can you do with your mind in order to see reality as it is, to see the equivalent of colors. So you need to transform. When you practice the Dharma, you don't understand the Dharma. You don't read and say, blah, 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 impermanence, noble path. Oh, okay, I understand it now. How come I'm not enlightened? You need to really transform your mind, and you do that by practicing. So anything to do with the Dharma is a practice. You disagree, don't you, Ratnaprabha? Because I remember when I gave that talk, you said, no, not everything. Anyway, that's a really interesting discussion. What is it that we can express in words? But most of it is practice. You practice, practice, practice. Even when you're talking about the Dharma, even when you're looking at exploring a concept, is still a method to transform your mind. Are you still with me, or you're already thinking, oh, what am I doing here? Okay. You will, don't answer, by the way. It will change. I will go into the symbols soon. So, this is a method to transform our minds, and the wisdom of enlightenment is impossible to be described in words. I'm not saying it's hard to describe in words. I'm saying it's impossible. So, what are we going to do then? How am I going to talk about the wisdom of enlightenment? First, I'm not enlightened myself. How are we going to explore that? When I was a little girl, I really liked books, since really small. So I had probably a book with pictures only. So there will be, I don't know, a kitten, a lamb, you know, children's books. And with pictures. Okay. Then I start getting books with few words. Oh, wow, words. I could understand words. So there was the picture of a kitten written, kitten. Great. Then I got even other books with sentences, paragraphs. All of a sudden, the books didn't even have pictures, just words, words, words. Later on, when I was at university, you know, I studied physics. There was also numbers. Wow. Okay, so all those words. I had the idea that you graduate from symbols and pictures to words. Words are the real thing. Well, with the Dharma, it's the opposite. I am using words. I'm using words, you know, okay, an accent and all that, but you're understanding me because of words. But the complexity of reality makes the words just a really poor way of trying to describe things. They are there to nudge your mind. The concepts are there to nudge your mind into what could be an understanding of reality or how to practice. So words are important, but they could be misleading. You could think, oh, I understand the Dharma. Actually, you need to practice it through the words. But even better if we use other kinds of communication. So, for example, symbols. So we go back to the pictures. Now, me thinking pictures are not important. Actually, for the Dharma, it's to be transmitted, expressed. Pictures are great. Symbols are great. So they are rich, complex, right side of the brain. Something that is not really a symbol, but say you're describing a dream to someone. I don't know what your dreams are like, but mine, I start saying, oh yes, I was talking to my sister. My sister was not my sister, she was a cat. But my sister was talking, and we were in the school where we studied, but actually it was not the school, it was something else. But all makes sense in a dream. Things can be 2, 3, you know, lots of things at the same time. Things transform, but you understand everything in the dream. It's a bit weird. Yeah, my sister is a cat, but it's just my sister. Why, do you have, Vajramitra, do you have dreams like that too? So, it's not, you know, if I'm talking to my sister and she becomes a cat, I'll freak out. But that's how we deal with complexity in a dream. So symbols are similar, isn't it? You do everything. I don't know why I'm holding this. I can't see anything with my glasses. So we're talking about symbols. It's also, we're talking about colors, also gestures, not just a picture, yeah? Sounds. All these, for me, is in the realm of symbols. And they're all connected. So as Ratnaprabha said, we are going to explore a traditional set of symbols. Did you like the kaleidoscope? It's great, that one, isn't it? This traditional symbol of the mandala of the 5 Buddhas. I was so happy when I came here this morning. I saw they actually have all the 5 Buddhas. They're symbols. Okay. They are, how to explain it? Imagine white light comes through a prism. Prism? Prism? I never know how to say this. Prism. So white light comes to a prism, and then the other side you see a rainbow. There we start already with our concept. Oh, rainbow, 7 colors. No, darling, there is a continuum of colors. At one point, red will become yellow, will become green, will become blue. What is what? You don't, but we call them 7 colors. That's our concept. Kind of put things into labels. Very good to communicate. I can say, oh, your skirt is red. I don't need to say, it's that color in between this and that, close to the infrared. No, it's good to communicate, but it's not as reality is. So you see all these colors coming from the white light. I'm going to make an analogy here. Analogies are okay to start understanding, but they are not literal. So imagine the wisdom of the enlightened Buddha, the enlightened mind, goes through a prism and then refracts into different wisdoms, like different colors. So these are the main wisdom represented by each of these Buddhas. So I'm going to explain how these wisdoms are. So they are just different aspects of the wisdom of the enlightened mind. So there is where words start mixing in my mind. Okay, they're all aspects of the same wisdom. None of them, or the basic enlightened wisdom, none of them is the wisdom. You can't actually separate them, as we cannot really separate colors, but we do. It's okay actually, because red is different than blue, but they're all part of the same thing in a white light. Same but different aspects, all interrelated. It's very good when we get to these moments of not knowing what to say, because it's actually closer to reality than if I'm telling you what things are. So each of these Buddhas represent or transmit a wisdom, an aspect of the wisdom of the enlightened mind, as much as we can explain with words. So they're actually archetypal figures. Archetypes are great. Archetypes could be an ideal that you aspire to. That's what I most like about the word archetype. It could also be an archetype as in something that is, you're trying to make something, you make an archetype. I prefer the other meaning, that, it's something universal. Or read Jung, you get lots about archetypes. So they're archetypal Buddhas. So why are they, I'm talking about reality, that it cannot be explained, blah, blah. So why do they look like a vaguely human shape? So no, I could say it's not concept. Well, the body is a concept. They have a body. Why? Once I was in a picnic in Sweden. I lived in Sweden for a while. I was having a well, picnics in Sweden in an island somewhere. And there were some birds. They were like seagulls or flamingo, but they were white. Some big bird, big. And now we were there sitting, eating our caviar, whatever we eat in Sweden. I was not a vegetarian then, eating my caviar. And then I said, why are these birds not scared of us? And then this friend of mine said, they don't see us, they don't recognize us. But if you do like this, and he stood up, put his leg up and start doing like this, all the birds flew away. Because for them, oh yeah, look, there is that bird and it's bigger than me. Let's run away. But the Buddhas look like humans. They're not to scare us away, it's the opposite. In a way, we can relate to them. I can relate to you. You're all people. You're my species. Hello. Great. I like species. Same species. So that's why they're symbolized like that. So it's easier for us to relate to them. But they're not human. So, and they have different colors, which we cannot see with these beautiful images. So some of the archetypal figures are the ones like bodhisattvas that have 4 arms or 1,000 arms, or White Tara has eyes, 7 eyes. Okay, it's not really human, but vaguely human, yeah? So we can relate to them. The mandala of the 5 Buddhas. And so I created a mandala here, also vaguely round. A mandala is something, kind of a circle with gates. So each of these Buddhas is a gate to this mandala, the mandala that represents enlightenment or the wisdom of enlightenment itself. The mandala has a center and a periphery. Anyway, read more about mandalas. I'm more interested in the 5 Buddhas. And I haven't got time anyway. These Buddhas they're not just the Buddhas themselves, they are families. So there are 5 families. So each family has a Buddha, has a female Buddha. I'm not going to talk about the female Buddhas. They are not just consorts. They are Buddhas in their own right, just in the shape of a female shape. They have an emblem, some of them there. They have colors. They have style. They have even a neurotic style. They are not neurotic. It's us being neurotic in the me, others. So it's the way we distort their wisdom into something neurotic. I'm going to talk about that soon. They've got time of the day that they relate to. So they're all things we relate to that somehow are associated with each of them. They have a mudra, a gesture, that we are going to play with as well, a direction, so that's why I did. So that one is north, this is west, so a proper direction. So start with the first family I'm going to talk about is the Vajra family. Does everyone know what a Vajra is? No. There is one there. I'll show you the Vajra and then I'll be back soon. Just back here. This is a Vajra. It's at the same time a diamond and a thunderbolt. That's symbols, isn't it? How can something be a diamond and a thunderbolt? It has qualities of both a diamond. It cuts through. It's the hardest element. And also a thunderbolt. So the Buddha of that Vajra family is this first one here. He's called Akshobhya. Akshobhya means imperturbable, unshakable, unflappable. Nothing that will do, nothing that happens will shake him. Perfectly perfectly grounded. The mudra of Akshobhya, as you can see, if you come closer or if you see the picture, is that blue there. His color is dark blue. So it's the blue one with the kaleidoscopes and the Vajra. His mudra is touching the earth. So come on, people, just touch the earth. Close your eyes and touch the earth. Just see how you feel. What effect it has on you. Okay, play with that more later. The time of the day is sunrise or early morning, but I like sunrise. And the direction, sunrise, direction of Akshobhya is the east. The style is clarity, precision. The neurotic style is being a bit aggressive and irritable. You know, when you are absolutely sure something is that way, you've got clarity and precision, and someone says, nah, let's do it in a different way. Oh, you know, I feel irritable. No, I'm telling you how things are. So the neurotic aspect, which I have, not Akshobhya, is being a bit irritable with people who don't think like me. So the wisdom, I talked about these wisdoms of passing through the prism. The wisdom of Akshobhya is called the mirror-like wisdom. What are the qualities of a mirror? Come on.
Sorry, what?
Qualities of a mirror. What does a mirror do? Reflects. Reflects what?
Anything.
Anything. And it's clear, isn't it? And the mirror reflects things without being affected by it. So if Brenda is seeing herself in a mirror, that will what the mirror will show. And then I show Laura, and Laura will say, oh yeah, now that's me. The mirror doesn't get affected by what is reflecting. Different than a canvas. For example, if I, paint a picture of Brenda, then the canvas will have that picture there. It will be marked by what it was showing. The mirror doesn't. The mirror is just completely fine. Doesn't get affected. That is that aspect of the wisdom of enlightenment. It doesn't, nothing sticks. It can reflect everything with clarity. So this is one aspect of the enlightened mind. It sees everything and sees everything, sees the true nature of everything, and doesn't get marked or affected by anything. So it's an aspect of being firm and stable that the enlightened mind has. Next one, jewel family. The jewel family is led by Ratnasambhava, which is the second one. And it's the one there that's close to the jewels. Ratnasambhava means the jewel producing one, or coming from the jewels, or whatever it is. He's yellow or golden, even better. His mudra is a mudra of generosity, and it's like this. So again, close your eyes and do this with your hand. You are giving whatever you want to give. You can give everything. You're not holding on to, nothing that you think belongs to you. You give. You give freely. That's an aspect of the enlightened mind. Okay, come back. The emblem is the jewels, as I said, but especially the Chintamani jewel, which is a wish-fulfilling jewel. And Sankarakshita I hope you know who he is. If you don't, ask someone. The founder of our order, our main teacher. So Sangharakshita said, it's a bit like Aladdin's lamp, this jewel. Whatever you want, you hold that jewel, you're going to have it. But that's what enlightenment is. You have everything you need when you're enlightened. The style of Ratnasambhava is generosity and richness, abundance. The neurotic style, as could happen with me, would be being a bit territorial, suffocating. There is so much, you get suffocated by it. But let's stay with the idea of generosity and abundance, richness. Nothing lacks, nothing. The time of the day, any guesses? A time of the day that is abundant? Midday, noon. The direction is the south. I have no idea why. The wisdom of Ratnasambhava is the wisdom of equanimity, or also described as the wisdom of sameness or equality. So the idea is the enlightened mind relates to everyone in the same way. Everyone has the same value. I'm not only neurotic, you see, sometimes I have my moments, my good moments. Once I was working in the cafe close to the London Buddhist Center. So I would be there on a counter giving people baked potatoes and quiche and pies and things. Not giving, they would pay for it. So giving. No, okay, I want potato, okay, get the potato. When my boyfriend would get into the restaurant, the cafe, I would say, oh, my boyfriend. And then he would say, I would like a baked potato. I would choose the biggest potato for him, or the biggest slice of banoffee pie for him. He was special. And then I noticed, why I'm doing this? Everyone is the same. So everyone who would come in, every customer, I started taking my time to choose the biggest potato, the biggest slice of quiche or whatever, and I would give them the best for each of them, not only for the boyfriend. And then I noticed, the thing about being transformed, I noticed I was happier doing that. Maybe my boyfriend wouldn't have be that happy coming late in the day and having the smallest potato that was left, but everyone was happy. They would get the best. And I noticed I was happy doing that. So that is this aspect of wisdom. There is no likes or dislikes. You just like everyone equally. So, and everyone is treated in the same way. But also everyone is treated in a very special way. It's the biggest slice of banoffee pie to each person. Everyone is special. So that leads to the next wisdom, or the next family, which is the lotus family. Lotuses, the red Buddha, bright red, which is not the third one, but the fourth. The one with the red candle. Yeah, there are the candles to help you. Red candle, and that Buddha, who's called Amitabha. Amitabha means infinite, limitless light. So imagine a being that has this light, is the same as light that goes everywhere, permeates everything. Not only light, we're also talking about warmth. Something very, warmth and loving. The emblem of Amitabha is the red lotus. The mudra is the mudra of meditation, which is very receptive. It's open, both hands here, open and receptive to everything. It's called the wisdom. I find, the style is a selfless appreciation or love. And the neurotic part of it would be being clingy and wanting to grasp everything. Not the case of Amitabha's limitless warmth. So the wisdom is called discriminating or distinguishing wisdom, which is you see the particularities of everyone. So it's like me looking at all of you and being able to rejoice in something in each of you. So there is this loving aspect of the enlightened mind, but it's also a love that is not grasping, oh, you are mine. Is a love or warmth that is actually, that helps people maturing. You know, when you really love someone, you actually help them. So Amitabha helps us maturing spiritually. So we've got this balance between everyone is the same and everyone is special and particular. So it's a really interesting paradox to play with. Now, fourth family is the fifth Buddha from me to there. It's called, the Buddha that represents the Karma family is called Amoghasiddhi. Siddhi means success or accomplishment. Amogha means unobstructed, unimpeded, infallible. So it's success guaranteed. You are going to, whatever Amoghasiddhi does, success. So what happens when you're going to do something you know how to do really well? What happens? Confidence. Look, it's only Brenda answering everything. Come on, guys. Confidence.
I'm closer.
She's a good friend as well. But I didn't tell her what I was going to ask. She's answering her own right. So the color of Amoghasiddhi is green, the color of the family. The emblem is, I'll start telling you about the Vajra. Now we've got the double Vajra, 2 Vajras in one. What does that mean? Vajra is already difficult to understand. The double Vajra blows your mind. It's actually a union of positive and negative forces. With the enlightened mind doesn't do that. This is good, this is bad. And I'm not going to go there because it's another talk on its own, but it's a mystery. So, a double Vajra. The style is efficiency, but without ambition. You know, efficiency, but not I'm the best, I can do that. No, it's efficiency without any ambition. It just comes naturally. The neurotic style would be very competitive. But the wisdom, the style of this wisdom is just being efficient, spontaneous. The next step of whatever you're doing comes naturally. You know what to do. Time of the day, oh, I forgot, the time of the day for Amitabha was the sunset. So time of the day for Amoghasiddhi, not Brenda, someone else? Nighttime, even more. What's the peak of nighttime? Midnight. Dark. Dark, and also it's he's fearless. His mudra is this. Okay, come on. That one is good to do. Come on. You're fearless. Anything happens, you know you can deal with things. So the name of this wisdom, this kind of, remember the prism, the name of that aspect of wisdom is the all-performing wisdom or all-accomplishing wisdom. Relates to action. Karma means action, so it's the action family. And that's because the enlightened mind is devoted to the welfare of all beings. really devoted, is there to help, knows what to do. It's not going to go around asking, how can I help? It knows how it can help, and it does it. Seamless. It just knows what to do. No need to ask. Everything comes spontaneously. So the aspect of fearlessness and confidence of the enlightened mind, success is guaranteed. Imagine someone told you, oh, if you do meditate for, say, 10 years, you are going to get enlightened, guaranteed. Wow, I would be meditating, day and night, because I want to be enlightened. It's brilliant, no suffering. It's not 10 years, isn't it? If I'm lucky, 10 lifetimes, 900 years. If I'm lucky, 1,000 years. But success is guaranteed. Keep practicing. Success is guaranteed. It might take a few lifetimes, but we'll get there. So I was...
Sorry, what is that family called?
The karma family, action. Amoghasiddhi, green, midnight, fearlessness. And efficient. Now, I did the first, the second, the fourth, and the fifth. Oh, and the direction of Amoghasiddhi is north. So there is one in the middle I jumped over. That is the Buddha that represents or expresses or helps us understanding the Dharma family. He's called Vairochana, which means the illuminator, bright white. Vairochana lights up everything, a bit like the sun. The emblem of Vairochana is what's called a Dharma chakra. So it's a wheel with 8 spokes and represents the Dharma. It's associated with the first time the Buddha was teaching the Dharma. So it's a bit, the mudra is a bit like this. You're turning this wheel. Because then when the wheel is turning, people will practice, understand more and more, transform themselves more and more. So direction, the center of the mandala. Time of the day. Ha, got you. Time of the day.
All day.
Anytime?
Thank you. Anytime, no time. All times. None. And now, the wisdom. Now, explaining this in a few minutes will be difficult. It's called the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu. So Sangharakshita says Dharma Dhatu is one of the most difficult terms to translate in the Dharma context. So Dhatu means a sphere or a realm or a kingdom. Dharma, in this case, Dharma is one of those words can mean so many things. In this case, it's reality. So it's the wisdom of the sphere of reality. It's reality permeating everything. If you're confused, you are in the right place. If you think you understood, go deeper. Sangharakshita says, it's the field of manifestation of reality. It's also translated as the wisdom of all-encompassing space. I really don't know what I'm talking about. But so I stay with the symbol. This bright white Buddha that is completely brilliant and spacious. This all-encompassing space means also that it's limitless, it's timeless, it's vast, it's free of concept. There's no concept there. Because once you have a concept, you kind of tie yourself up to that. There's no, it's vaster than that. It's reality itself. So in a way, it's the white light that passes through the prism and becomes the other four wisdoms. Wow, I feel even tired talking about it. It's the whole cosmos, as in reality itself. I'm not going to say more, because the more I say, the more I misrepresent this.